Hey ladies, I remember that we had a conversation just through chatting where we were talking about how do we say no and not devastate a man that is interested in us but we're not interested. How do we set boundaries without emasculating? How do we ask for what we need actually in dating moments or moments even in a nightclub, for example, and we're approached? How do we handle that? So, although it's been a while that I haven't been in the scene, because I've been with my beloved for 7.5 years, I had a lot of experience going out. I spent a lot of time out. I loved dancing, and I loved men, and I loved sex. So it was a great combination. So I learned a lot of things. And as I progressed with my practice, I changed a bit how I would do things. So initially, without any kind of insight or self-grounding when I was really young, I would just basically walk up to a man and say, I want you. Do you want to spend a night with me? I'm not interested in emotional connectedness or, moving on into a relationship tomorrow. I just really want to have a great time tonight with you. What do you think? And I was just really clear about what I wanted. And the majority of time, the men were super cool about it. And we end up having an amazing experience. And inevitably, the next morning, they're like, wow, that was so great. Are you sure you don't want to hang out more or go into this more with me? And because I was clear at the time, I would say, no, but it was lovely, thank you. And there would be this just very benevolent parting. So that's one aspect, is when I was a lot younger, I knew what I wanted and I would just go for it. And maybe it was luck, maybe it was right timing, maybe my instincts were accurate. I don't know why that worked for me, but it did. And I find that a lot of men appreciate directness. So that's one piece. But then I got a lot more conscious. I decided to actually, as I got into the Jade Egg practice, I was going to take some time to be celibate. In fact, I did 15 months. And for me, that's stunning to go 15 months without sex, because at that point in my life, I pretty much needed it a few times a day. Never mind, 15 months of not having it. But I decided to do this as a commitment to myself and to discover the games and the attitudes and the manipulations that I was possibly going through, and then I was curious about other people. So being celibate and still choosing to go out in the dating scene, still choosing to go to nightclubs, still choosing to engage and to dance sexy and to play and to flirt, and yet having a really clear end result. I'm not having sex. This is clear. So one of the things that would happen in this time is my eyes got completely opened. It got open to the games that women play, manipulative games that we play with men. It just blew my mind how we do that. And then I got to see how men do the same. They also have their version of manipulating. And then I got to see, well, where do I stand in all that? And so I'll just tell you one moment. It was very special, but I've had many moments like this. I would go to a club and a man would approach me, and I would look at him, and he was just, would say something really sweet, and I'd look at him and I'd actually touch him, put my hand on his arm, or I would do some kind of contact, and I say, look, I really appreciate what you're saying and that you've come here and made the effort to talk to me. And I know that you only have a couple more hours to find someone to go home with. And I'm not going to be that person, because I'm actually not choosing to partake in sex at this time in my life. So I'm completely okay with you moving on and finding, the person that you want to go home with tonight. And that was pretty much it. I would just say this in different ways, but that's the gist of it. And I would say a good portion of the guys would thank me for my honesty and then move on, because they really were on the hunt and they were wanting to find something. And then there was actually a significant portion of them that were so fascinated that I would share something like that and be honest with them, that they would just sit down, get themselves a drink, and we'd end up having this incredible connection and conversation that wouldn't necessarily lead to anything, because I didn't want anything, and that was clear, but just a human connection and just meeting someone really fun, and not always having the agenda of sexuality in the way of meeting a new human being. So that's a couple thoughts that I have on that. I'm going to post this video, it's already long enough, and then maybe we can deepen this conversation. So I hope that was a little bit insightful in terms of, one, really knowing what you want. What are you looking for? If you're looking for a husband, why are you in a nightclub? If you are looking to get laid, why are you making something out of the connection where maybe nothing exists? It's just purely about sex. So it's very important, I talk about this in my book, to know what impulses are leading you. Is it love? Is it lust? Is it biological imperatives? That is the need to get pregnant. What is leading the way? And if you understand that, you'll create much more amazing experiences for yourself. And if you don't understand that, then sometimes it's confusing. It's like having an agenda inside, but communicating something totally different on the outside. That's going to create incongruency. So I knew really what I wanted, and I went for it. And then the second thing is, when I did choose something, I took a strong stance in that thing, and I didn't make excuses for it. And so my no was always gracious, because I was actually saying yes to something else, and my yes was so profoundly delicious that I didn't mind expressing no to other people. So let's love, and let me know what you think, okay? Bye.